I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Oops Podcast. Colorado and Lynch, OTP, you know me.
OTB.
Lynch rocking the Andy Roddick visor. Love to see it.
Yeah, shout out Swings.
Shout out Swings. Dude, good to see you. Good shit in the throes of the beginning of summer. It's been kind of a gloomy couple weeks, but I kind of like it. I like in my neighborhood, especially like when it's really gloomy, it just like feels like Europe. It's like weird. This neighborhood is like great. I really like it over here. Greenpoint. I've been really enjoying sort of getting involved in the neighborhood, and Hill Dog's been gone for a couple of days. We know how that can go, but
It can go one of two ways.
Getting
involved sounds like a productive way to deal.
It's gone both ways, I'd say, meaning the house is in a bit of disarray. But there's, I don't want to say Hillary's a picky eater. She sort of like inherently needs to be for her safety, like with her allergies and stuff. But there's certain things that she just like isn't into also. So like there's all these kind of spots in the neighborhood that I've been wanting to try. And it just, we don't end up going together. So while she's been out of town, I've been trying to go to a bunch of them. And I've really been enjoying that. Seeing different parts of the neighborhood, trying different spots that I've been curious about. And then, you know, just like I went to the bar, the like local bar that I like. It's like a cocktail bar on a Monday night. I was just chatting up with the bartender. I've been like chatting it up with all the bartenders, like the classic alone guy at the bar. At these restaurants too, I've been sitting at the bar, getting to know the bartenders. And like my local bar, it's called Diamond Lil. It's a great spot. Like shout out to Taryn. Like enjoying it. Love the guys at the corner store. It's the first time I've had like a real connection with the neighborhood. It feels really good. And I'd like to take it to the next level. And this is where you come in. So I wish that I had a better relationship with other people on the block. I went to a party last weekend. It was like a barbecue. Friends of mine bought this sort of townhouse in sort of a deep part of Bed-Stuy. It's kind of almost near Brownsville. And apparently on their block, like everybody's like really neighborly, like on some welcome to the neighborhood shit. Like everybody knows each other. Like a bunch of those people were at the barbecue. And like, I have some friendly neighbors, especially in my sort of building situation, which is like, there's a few sort of conjoined townhouses. And I definitely interact with these people a good amount, but I'm curious about how to take it the next step.
Okay. So we want a positive next step.
Yeah. So like, okay, I'll give you an example. So the people who live above us kind of do their own thing. And I don't, you know, and maybe they're a little younger also. And I don't see a world where we'd be hanging out with them because it would require too much of initiation on our part. And they might not respond positively to that, which might be weird. So like, I'm not willing to put myself through that. But the people downstairs have like shown interest in like hanging. They've invited us to stuff. Now in my sort of cynical brain, I'm sort of like, oh, they just like feel like they have to invite me. And if I go, they're not actually going to want me to be there. That might be awkward. So I've like, it's either that or like literally when they catch me, I'm like not in the mood to socialize or meet people. So like they invited us to their like New Year's party and like, we didn't go, but as like a gesture, we like kind of brought them a bottle of champagne being like, we can't make it, but like enjoy like goodwill. And then, you know, the thing where my mail went to the wrong guy and he'll like hit me up or like, I'll be walking down the block and be like, Giulio. And then I'm like, and he'll have my mail. I'm like, oh, I actually don't know his name because I have never gotten his mail. He knows mine because he's gotten mine. And he called me once. I don't know how he got my number, but maybe he got it from the landlord. But I should probably ask the landlord. But anyway, so, and now when I get mail that isn't mine, I'll go knock on the doors of the people and bring it to them and hoping that maybe, you know, spark some kind of friendship or something. And it hasn't happened.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we're stuck at tier 1 of interactions with platonic and acquaintance-sized neighbors. So we want to get to tier 2. Because tier 2, you know, tier 3 is like, you know, birthday parties, weddings, all like
which you've
all
accomplished
such.
with your neighbors.
Yes.
Your neighbors were at your wedding.
Yes, we have accomplished that. There were some specific situations that lined up perfectly where they were strangers. They referred us to the building as strangers. connected via mutual friend of a mutual friend of a mutual friend.
So that's got the ball rolling.
We initiated hey, we want to thank you for getting us into this building. It's impossible to live here. So we want to, hang out and meet you and say, hey, we're around the same age. We want to share one time with you. Of course, they said. We hung out. We luckily hit it off.
Share one time. What was the one time that you shared?
We met at a neutral location outside of the apartment to watch the sunset.
Are you serious?
Dead ass.
And that was what it was framed as? Should we
Yes.
watch the sunset together?
So I think we were like, do you guys want to do something? And since they've lived here longer than us, a normal thing that those people did was go to Domino Park, watch the sunset via picnic style. And so
okay.
we joined
there's a
them.
picnic.
We joined them with non-alcoholic beer, and we brought a bottle of wine.
Why?
So that we could placate to whoever they could be.
So you didn't know. You didn't know about their drinking preferences.
We know nothing. These are strangers that we want to
okay.
say thank you beyond a knock on the door and the boring thank you.
How did you explain yourself when you brought non-alcoholic and alcoholic?
I think we just kept it in the bag because we saw that they had wine and we're like, okay, we can leave the athletic brew in the bag.
Because we were drinking with them at the wedding, so I know that they drink.
Yeah, so that particular situation was unique because we already were connected before we met them. Whereas these neighbors, you're only connected via wall and not before or during the living situation besides walking by each other. So we're in tier 1 right now. You're getting their mail. It's kind of hard to spark
but by
fun
going
banter.
to the picnic, you're now at tier 2.
Yes, but we only got to tier 2 because the very first time we interacted was very important, as opposed to us just brushing shoulders in the hallway.
And what'd you do?
We sat with...
No, I know, but the first time you interacted. But you didn't have to meet them. You didn't need to bump into them first to initially interact. You digitally arranged this hang.
Our mutual friend made it happen.
I know that, but then once it had happened, meaning...
I get what you're saying.
They got you the referral, yeah.
They referred us before we ever interacted with them.
Totally.
So we got their contact info. We asked for it so we could thank them. And then that's when Victoria, I think, initiated hey, we'd love to just meet you guys. We're new to the city. And then we knew that they were around our same age. The guy's a little older. The fiance is our age. And so they were like, sure, we go to Domino Park. You want to meet us there? Good, safe place to pop in, pop out. Great neutral spot.
Good for you guys.
But in your circumstance, we're talking about neighbors, and it's already established that there's at least a little bit of rapport.
You guys are neighbors too, though.
Yes, but you're trying to start a relationship in the middle of a lease, whereas we started a relationship as soon as we started our lease.
Had you seen them before?
No.
You didn't know what they looked like?
No idea what they looked like. Never would have known what they looked like if we never reached out to them and met them.
Was that acknowledged when you were going to meet them for the first time? Were they we're under the tree wearing green shirts?
Yes. And then we joked about...
They said what they were wearing.
They said what color the towel was. We didn't know what skin color they were. We didn't know what they looked like. We didn't know if they were fat, skinny. We knew nothing to describe them. So it was very daunting. And there was some awkward eye contact and some... Jarrett, Ryan, Sammy, Victoria. Hi.
Was there any doubt that it was them based on the spread? Were there other people picnicking?
It was packed. It was we were Where's Waldoing our neighbors.
Wow.
And they were doing the same to us. And then immediately we were able to joke about how we're glad that we acknowledge this is weird and instantly hit it off.
Good.
And now we're besties.
Break the ice. I have more questions. Okay, so
Yeah.
do you remember how they described their setting?
Via that text message?
Yeah.
I think they said, hey, we're chilling in a picnic, and maybe someone described... I think the towel was a distinguished color or pattern that differentiated itself from the others.
And that's what
But we're
they
still
said.
amongst a sea of people.
So did you see other setups that could have potentially been theirs as you were looking around?
Yes. I mean, we were kind of just staring. It was basically our entire line of sight was in the eyes of a peripheral view because we didn't know what we were looking for because everything, that color, that pattern was in the mix of a sea of many other.
So
it was
theoretically,
tough.
you're that could theoretically be red and white checkered, even though it's not technically checkered, but one might think it's checkered. So but there's 5 of them and they said it's just going to be them. So we know that's not them.
Yes. And then us standing there, them being there already, seeing the 2 of us crossing our eyes trying to look for stuff, that's a pretty good indicator that might be the people that they're looking for. So we made eye contact.
Harder for them to spot you than for you to spot them potentially, though.
I'd argue vice versa, because a lot of people are sitting down, and anybody that is standing up on their way to sit down is intending to go where they're intending to go. They know where they're going to go, or they have a plan as to where they're going. Whereas Victoria and I...
Yeah, but they might not know where they're going. Ryan, I'm meeting you at Domino Park. I'm looking for you. Where's Ryan? 100 people. Do you see Ryan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're saying, but if you were waiting for me, you would have told me what you're sitting on.
Yes.
I'm sitting on a red blanket and I'm looking for you. And I'll say, hey, I'm looking for you too. We're standing up. A lot of people that are sitting down are all sitting down, and that's easier to.
So you were texting them as you were looking for them.
We were texting them on location.
Got it.
And so they saw we were the only people standing and puttering around, which was a key indicator as to give out a, hey,
hey,
Ryan. And so we met them and hit it off.
You sat, you started, you looked, you quickly saw, okay, they have drinks, so we don't need to bust out the non-alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
If they had not been drinking, would you have then drank your own drinks and contributed a gift of non-alcoholic to them? Was that the idea? Or would you too have drank that with them?
I would have drank with them.
With the non-alcoholic?
Yeah. I do drink the non-alcoholic stuff sometimes. So it's not a full placate.
Love it.
It's not a full
sometimes
play case.
You like it.
It's not a play case.
It's not a play case. Great. So, and then would you be like, well, like I drink sometimes, but like, I actually really like this shit too. So
I think for the first couple of minutes, you lean pretty light on committing to a preference of anything.
And then what'd you talk about?
But as soon as we just talked about, we were like, how do we know each other? How did this happen? Thank you, by the way. But like, we're complete strangers. Thanks for doing that. This place looks great. But like, who are you guys? And they were saying the same thing to us. And we hit it off right away.
And he's like, I'm from Florida originally, and she's from Alabama, and she's Jewish from Alabama, which,
both Florida, but still.
But she's from the Panhandle.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So she's like, our grandmothers set us up, and because I remember them telling us their story. I'm not getting it exactly right, but I'm close.
Yeah.
And okay, and then you just chit-chatted, like standard, all good.
Exchange numbers.
Great.
As neighbors do.
So question now. This is a little bit of a side question, and we'll get back to the main event here. But can you walk me through the process of being set up with them to get the referral to begin with?
Yes. So
start from square one. You're looking for an apartment.
Square one. Vic's living in Boston. I'm living in Weehawken, New Jersey, which is just north of Hoboken, if you never heard of it. And we wanted to move to Brooklyn. That's where we decided to move to. And so Victoria would set up a lot of the open house appointments, and I was boots on the ground. So she would say, hey, go to this, this, and this. I would take the boat over to Manhattan and then subway to Brooklyn, because that's where we were primarily looking, and I would go check out the places. A lot of this was spring of 2022, so a lot of people were migrating back into the city. It was very competitive. Landlords are trying to make up the lost buck that they had for the last 2 years right away. So they were swarmed with people. And so I went to 4 or 5, swing and a miss. Went to 1, felt really confident about our chances, and then somebody offered like a down payment amount of money because they had fuck you money. And the people moving back into the city, there's enough fuck you money people moving in where you were kicked to the curb and you're obsolete as a prospective renter.
So the swings and misses, these were places that were theoretically in your price range and you applied, but you didn't get them?
Yeah.
Got it.
And we had good credit.
Got it.
Good money situation. I mean, yeah, we met all the requirements. But because so many people are trying to move back, anybody that was able to give you like that fuck you money, like, oh, I can just give you $5,000 for me to have it. On top of brokers' fees, $5,000 fuck you money. So, we're just getting kicked to the curb, getting priced out right away as people are bidding on apartments to rent. And it was just super horrible and unrealistic. And both of our leases were, getting to the point where we're just starting to stress out.
Starting to feel the heat.
And so Victoria's brother, Victoria relayed all this to him, and he was like, oh, I know someone that knows someone that went to camp with us as kids that knows someone like 4 deviations of mutual friends that lives in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. We're like, oh, we're looking there. They're like, okay, well, I'll just reach out and see if they know any people moving out of their building soon, or if they know anything that can help you out. Maybe
And
a
this is
broker.
pre-knowing that there was like rent stabilization?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Got it.
And so that was a great surprise. So anyway, we get hooked up via email. We get sent the Street Easy listing for another unit in the apartment.
And you hadn't seen that one yet?
No. And
Because you weren't looking in that area?
No, we didn't know where we're looking all over
Totally,
Brooklyn. We
totally.
we almost moved to the Navy Yard. And so we're like, okay, we'll go check it out. So I went. Vic came with me this time, and we got a tour before the apartment got listed. We saw a listing of a previous unit, but they had another unit that they didn't want to put online. They didn't want to hire a broker. They just wanted to transfer it over easily through references in the building. So that friend of a friend that went to camp of a friend gave us a referral without knowing us, just because they knew Vic's brother, and we got to tour it. And then we're like, can we apply today? They said, yes, you can apply today. And then we had probably 10 laborious taxing days where I didn't jerk off, because I knew that was going to be bad karma. If I jerked off, I told myself, Ron, you need to have the willpower to not jerk off for 10 days. If you don't jerk off for 10 days, God will reward you with good news upon your application process. We were swinging and missing. And I really, really wanted this apartment. I knew nothing about the area. Only a couple months later did we realize we hit the jackpot with where we live. I absolutely love where we live.
Great.
And
what episode was this, by the way?
What do you mean, around the pod?
No, number. Yeah, what number episode?
Specifically?
Yeah.
629.
So I think we made it 628 episodes without ever talking about jerking off. This is a great milestone for us on the pod.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, so I went. It was honestly one of the greatest pieces of willpower. Whenever I really want something to happen and it's out of my control, I do everything that I can to set myself up for success.
I love it.
The time between setting up that success and getting the final answer or the verdict, I don't jerk off, because that is willpower. That is waiting. That is patience. That's doing something to help karma check off that you're all right. So, I didn't do it for 10 days. And then we got the notification saying, hey, everything checks out. Apartment is yours. Wow. No broker's fee. Sent our deposit in. We got the apartment. And then I jerked off. And so that's how we got the apartment. Only after we moved in did I realize that we were in prime real estate. And I adore where we live so much. I already am upset that we'll be priced out once rent stabilization ends in 2 years.
Is that happening?
In 2 years. Spring
Well,
2027.
we'll see if what's his name becomes mayor. It may never end.
Rent stabilization?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but
I don't know. This specific building opened up in 2013.
Oh, so the building itself expires out of it type of thing?
I think you got to do 15 years. And I think they're in 2027, that'll be 15 years for them. And once that's done, they can increase rent. I know how much my rent's supposed to be. They show us on our lease renewals.
Well, you have time, bro.
Yeah, we have time.
You have time to figure out a way to be able to afford the neighborhood still.
Yeah. So we were when we moved there, we had no idea anything about Williamsburg, and then
it's the best.
We went in completely blind, and we just lucked out. We're in a perfect spot. I love where we are.
It's great.
So yeah, that's how we got the apartment via complete strangers that are now our best friends, and we're at our wedding.
Okay.
And we're gonna circle back because this is about you.
What do you mean?
This is about you.
No. So I
have a plan.
Okay, so I'm excited for that, but now I want to go back to. I counter by saying, let's go back to you for a second because I need more context. So you hang once, you exchange numbers. Where does it go from there?
Both parties walked away going, those guys are really nice. Glad they're our neighbor. And so I don't know who did what, but either they invited us over for dinner. We have fantastic times with them. Obviously, they're at our wedding. And
that's so great.
And yeah, they're great friends. And they come down for coffee. I make him espresso sometimes, and I'll go upstairs if he wants tips on his Caesar salad dressing. I'll run upstairs. I'll give him anchovies.
Make a mean
Sorry?
So you make a mean Caesar dressing?
I make focaccia bread, and I make Caesar dressing. And I make them well.
I love it.
And we have game nights with them. They're perfect neighbors. We really lucked out. And I want that for you, if that's what you want.
I want it.
But it can't be forced.
It can't be forced.
So now, here's the hot seat. back to you. I got a suggestion.
Okay, please.
It's a very specific suggestion. So if you don't like it, we'll see if we can bounce off it. My friend, Adriana, she lives in an apartment right down the street from us, and she's trying to build some community. Not forcing friendships, not that you're doing that, but opportunities for organic friendship encounters to be. There is a little plot of dirt on her sidewalk, by her sidewalk, right in front of her property. And she has taken it into her own hands to make sure that it is clean and to plant some flowers there to help spruce up the neighborhood.
This is on the sidewalk?
This is on the sidewalk. She doesn't need to do this.
How big is her building?
12 units.
Okay.
And she doesn't need to do this, but she's planting plants and she's building some community. And I know that neighbors have walked by and they'll be like, oh, that's really nice. Conversation.
And she's not
Organic
doing it
conversation.
for that, but it's turned out to be a good tool to do that.
She likes to garden. So she does that on her own accord. And that has led to opening conversations to potential friendly encounters. That's a good way to foster organic, unforced, unobligatory conversation with one another. You're a plant boy kind of guy.
Yeah.
You just keep that thing clean. You see someone seeing you keeping it clean. That could lead to a conversation, but don't stand out there waiting for somebody to walk outside so you can pick up a piece of litter from the dirt. Mm-hmm. So that's something fun. And also, you trade in your gentrifier card when you start doing shit like that. You're building the community when you're doing shit like that. So
I don't
my friend isn't.
bad
I'm not
about
saying
that.
you are.
I don't feel any sort of problem with the gentrification thing, especially if I wanted to, I could pull the I am originally from Brooklyn card.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who's accusing me of gentrifying their neighborhood, I doubt they're from here originally, unless they are Polish and only speak Polish.
Yeah.
Because if that's not the case, then they weren't originally here. So that's what I would say to them without ever having to hopefully say it.
Yeah. No, we don't need to touch that. Anyway. We don't need to touch that.
We don't need to touch it.
But anyway, that's something that I've seen from the outside perspective that has led to friendships. I think she's become better friends with neighbors in her building because of that, as opposed to, hey, you left your mail here. Oh, I got you. No problem. What's your phone number?
I say I'm Giulio, by the way. And they're like, oh yeah, like.
I know. I know. That's why you brought it up.
I know.
Hill Dog's gone. You want
like,
some.
They're nice. They're cool. Like I want to maybe, get in there, but.
Would you ever invite someone over to hang out? I don't see you doing that.
And this is going to sound maybe bad, but like we have like a quote cool job. You know what I mean? Maybe even cooler than it probably seems much cooler than it actually is, as maybe any job does. But in theory, I'm not in these sort of like anonymous situations that often. Now, I don't go run around telling people what I do for work, but seriously. And in the neighborhood, like if somebody asks, I'm not going to lie. So like some people know, some people don't. Like I have good relationships in both of those situations, but like nothing beyond the like, oh, I'm at the place and you know me thing where I'm like a patron and they're nice and we're nice to each other because we both have good social skills, etc.
Yeah.
So like in theory, I'm used to sort of being pursued as a friend more so than I am the situation where I'm like trying to force people to hang out with me. So it feels weird and look, if everybody in the building fucking knew what I do, like would they start immediately hitting me up to try to chill? Probably not. But I don't like, I can't recall the last time where I like made an effort to try to make friends because like, my job is pretty social and like inevitably those two things sort of mesh in a way where a lot of my social relationships sort of depend on that. And then I have my like non-comedy friends too, who I've like had forever. And I've made a couple new friends too. Louisa, who I met at Pilates, one of my best friends. Like I love her. She's the best. We hang out, like whatever. But yeah, dude, it's like, it's a tricky situation where I feel embarrassed and I feel there's like a risk of putting myself out there and getting rejected. I'm like feeling embarrassed,
It's a different environment.
Oh, you don't want to hang? I'm a comedian, by the way. Yeah, no, like for real. Like
You'd never do that.
obviously that would also be insane.
I don't know.
Do you change your mind? Do you have other comedian friends?
Do you have other comedian friends?
I'll tell you all about it if you have questions. Door closes.
Yeah. So what's the goal here?
I don't know.
It's always I don't know.
I think no.
You just want more. More what? I don't know.
No,
Just
but like
more.
no, I'll tell you. The goal is an easy friendship that feels good.
Easy friendship, some platonic intimacy.
Some fun.
G is looking for platonic intimacy.
The people downstairs are like, cool. Guys, if you're looking to up your nicotine pouch experience, look no further. Lucy has got you covered. It's personally my favorite pouch experience. Pure nicotine. There's a bunch of different great flavors. Currently, I have one
Do you have the mint?
as we speak.
Do you have the mango? Do you have the berry
I
citrus?
have apple cider.
You have the apple cider? So these are the ones that are not in Giulio's pocket. Giulio does not have the mint. Giulio does not have the mango. Giulio doesn't have the berry citrus. That sounds great. He does have the apple cider. He doesn't have the apple ice. And he doesn't have the
mango
espresso.
breakers in the other room. These are the breakers. There's like a little ball in there that can kind of like intensify the flavor. You just bite it, tuck it, you're good. The one thing I like about this design too is that like if you're kind of walking around and you don't want to just throw your pouch on the ground or somewhere, like there's a place for your used ones to throw them that doesn't get in the way of the fresh ones that you can then throw out later, which is amazing. But anyway, I know that when I sit down to edit, it is a really nice thing to have that just kind of like makes the experience more pleasant, helps me get through it. If I need to use my brain for anything, love having my Lucy nearby. So use our code and check it out.
Yeah, and it's good that we have that type of lid where you can spit out and deposit your used Lucy's, because if you were to spit on the dirt, your communal dirt space with your neighbor, they might not be a fan of that, and they definitely aren't going to be down for a platonic intimate encounter with you. So let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/oops and use promo code OOPS to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code OOPS to get 20% off. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
The people upstairs are cool too. Like they seem cool, but like the people downstairs are cool in like a more accessible way.
How?
They just like are cool, bro. Like I don't even know how to describe it. They just like
Okay.
look cool. Like they like seem cool. Like, and like they seem to have a good thing going. Like they'll have parties and they're always like worried that they're being too loud, and they never are. And like I try to like go out of my way to be like, dude, you're not too loud, in a way where like I almost like go overboard, and they're like, yeah, we know. Like we know you don't care.
They have the backyard?
Yeah.
I can picture you opening the window while they're having a barbecue. Be like, hey guys, by the way, you guys aren't being too loud. You guys are like, I just want you guys to know, like, not a problem, like not loud. I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
I'm not that guy. So you guys can be louder if you want.
I've gone overboard with that.
I'm pretty loud,
I'm embarrassed about it. But like, okay, for example, the story I told about witnessing the car hitting the bike, right?
Yeah.
I saw my neighbor with his bike, and I was like, oh, dude, I like told him the story. I was like, I just witnessed the craziest fucking thing. Like, told him, he was like, whoa. And he's like, I should probably put a helmet on. I was like, oh, that's not like not why I told you the story, but like whatever you want to do. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get my helmet. And like, that's how it ended, but it was sick. It was like, we see each other in the neighborhood. We'll give a like, but he doesn't do too much. You know what I mean? Dude, it's solid. It's solid. Yeah. Oh, hey.
Hey, if you ever need help putting your helmet on.
Don't forget. He zooms by up. So, you know, there's something there that I think they're from California. At least the guy is. He's from like San Francisco. Like good vibes, like whatever.
Buy a surfboard, put it out front. I don't know. The way that you said that they're cool. He had a glow in his eyes. If you're watching the YouTube version, that seems like open invite to send an invite.
They've given us opportunities to participate too that we weren't able to take for whatever reason. Either we couldn't or we just weren't in the mood, which is like, maybe you got to get yourself in the mood. And like, in theory, if we don't host stuff the way like that often. If we were to, I think we could invite them. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be weird. Yeah. And it's also like low pressure because like you chat with them a little, you sort of introduce them to somebody, like a couple or like people that you know can like hang, who aren't going to like talk at them, and like your friends who are like good socially, and you pin them together kind of, and then you can go float around, let them do their thing, make sure they're good. If they're sitting alone for too long, maybe then you go over and you chat with them. It's all, you know, gentle and yeah, I would do that. Maybe that's the way.
Now we should wrap up soon.
Okay.
They've sent you a couple of invites, you said in the past, some casual invites?
Just like we're having people over tonight, or we're making tacos, like you want one? And like, dude, the last time they were making sausages, and like I haven't been eating meat, and though you want some sausages, I come over, I was like, oh, like I haven't really been
When was that?
Like a couple weeks ago. It felt like a bad miss, swing and a miss. I should have just like gone and had them maybe. But like, I also was like, dude, it's like a new development, like long story, but like, I really appreciate it, but don't waste it on me because I don't really eat that. I like to have been eating meat.
Okay, before the meet, when was the last invite?
New Year's.
Okay.
And then before that, there was probably 2 other invites.
Okay. So we're looking at territory where no matter the circumstance, you might have to say yes on the next invite. Otherwise, you won't get an invite anymore.
It's looking like we may never get one anymore because we've said no so many times. It seems like that is a message we're sending, which is not the message we're sending.
I know. Well, I think it is it might be it's the message that you're sending, but it's not the one you intend to send. Yes. So
it doesn't reflect how we feel about the potential of integrating.
Yeah. So I would, that's a great way. Just say yes next time. Hopefully it's a good thing. Because if they said no to us wanting to hang out and thank them, then we would have dropped things down to just a card and a gift card and a knock on the door and a hi, a goodbye, and a see you later forever. So that like the friendship comes by accepting the invite.
When the door opens, sometimes you need to walk through it.
And so if you get the opportunity to headline at Radio City and film a special, and it's the only night you can ever do it your entire life, and they knock on your door before you walk out, and they're like, "Hey, Giulio, we're gonna watch TikToks on the TV tonight. Love for you to come hang."
What you do in that situation, you immediately have the counter invite. I have like the biggest night of work of my life, but like, are you guys around next week? Like, we'll come bother you. Bother you's fun because it's like, you're not actually bothering, but you're showing that you intend to do it. We'll come bother you and like, we'll invite you over or maybe not say it like that, but like, we'll come bother you and like try to set something up.
Yeah.
Because like, we want to hang with you guys.
Yep.
All right. Well.
Yep. Someone out.
Hopefully this is helpful for you guys because it's easy to overthink stuff. And at the end of the day, we're all going to fucking die, dude.
This is not for anyone else. This is for Giulio. This is Giulio's therapy session.
This is for me. This is for me, but hopefully it's helpful because I know that other people maybe think about this stuff sometimes. So go make friends.
Hope it's helpful too.
Don't be scared, and don't betray your values, and you can't go wrong. Yeah. So that's that. Oops Podcast. Follow us. I'm at Julio at Ryan is really polite. Check out my videos. Check out my Patreon. I've been putting some cool extras up there for my travel shit. Nepal video coming down the pipeline soon. Very pumped about that. It's looking amazing. It's going to be one of my best ones. So keep your eyes peeled. And yeah, that's it.
All right. I love you.
Bye-bye.